Husky fans, welcome into episode number 9 of NIU Weekly. I am Andy Garcia, alongside the Associate Vice President and Director of Athletics at NIU, Sean T. Frazier. Sean, great to be with you again this week, and I hope, again, the family and everyone's healthy and strong on campus. And we finally have at least a game to talk about. We've talked about all these things leading up to it. It wasn't the outcome we wanted last Wednesday night, but now we get ready for Central Michigan coming into Husky Stadium, and another opportunity for this team to get better, but also get a victory.
Yeah, it's no question. It wasn't the outcome, and a lot of self-inflicted wounds. You saw some great promise. You saw some great energy. You know what? The greatest thing there for our kids is that they never gave up, and they were in it to the end. But when you spot folks, 14, 21 points in any situation, regardless of it being the projected winner of the East or someone who's just trying to put their season together, you're going to have really challenges to win. And I think our kids learned a lot from that. A lot of youth on the team, some upperclassmen that need to shore up the line a little bit. But there was a lot of great moments in that game. You saw a lot of things in there: size, speed, tenacity, a lot of things to grow from. And I know Coach Hammock had a bevy of notes and other things to clean up this week.
Yeah, and I said it on the air, on the radio broadcast, the freshmen are growing up quickly. And we saw them make plays, and we saw them get some game experience. It's going to be huge. And let alone, they took on a really good Buffalo team, a team that is picked by a lot to win the MAC East. So a tough opponent, but you learn, like you said, from the mistakes.
Yeah, there's no question about it. It's one of the better running backs that we're going to see all year, and he proved that. He ran with heart. Patterson's a good kid. It wouldn't shock me him playing on Sunday. So with that, on top of, like I said, I have to go back to self-inflicted. Looking at the score, when you spot someone 21 points, you give up the ball, odds are you're not going to win the game. And those are the types of things that we have to do to advance to the next level.
We're going to talk to head football coach Thomas Hammock today. We're also going to talk a little women's hoops. They start in about 2 weeks. Lisa Carlsen's going to join us on the show. But one more for you, Sean, and I'll make it quick. I mean, the testing that went into just getting that game off, the equipment, the players, the staff, everyone was healthy. Everyone was able to play. And that's a good sign that the testing is working amongst the student athletes, the university, the staff, everyone.
Yeah, it's just kudos. We're going to do a story just on that, the labor intensiveness, the Northwestern medicine component, the ability to have pretty much all of our travel squad and everyone testing on a regular basis. This is epic. It is quite the thing to get everyone secure, and the fact of going through this process of testing, checks and balances, staffing. It's a lot. It's definitely has put a significant amount on the staff, and we saw that. So just to get that game off and to get all these games off is a testament to the level of support that we have all across the board, and kudos to everyone involved in making that happen.
Let's talk a little football more. Let's talk with the head coach, Thomas Hammock. He'll join us here on NIU Weekly. There he is, coaching. Buffalo, a very good opponent in that first game, coming to Husky Stadium. What did you learn from your team, though, as you move from that first game, as you get ready for Game 2 in Central Michigan on Wednesday night?
Well, I think, number one, I think we have a resilient group. I think we have a group that's going to continue to play irregardless of the situation. I know the night before the game I talked about if you're up by 30 or you're down by 30, nothing changes. We got to take a next play mentality. I think our players showed that. But, we have to play cleaner if we want to have a better chance to go win football games.
Don?
Yeah, so that's a great segue, Coach. What did you really like, and what are some of the things that you want to clean up this week?
Well, I think for the first game, I think what you saw was a clean operation. You always expect 10 guys on the field, wrong formation or something happens, you got to use a timeout. We didn't have to do that. In the first half, we were able to execute a 2-minute drive at the end. Where we still had 3 timeouts. I thought, for the most part, we operated the way you want to operate. I thought from that perspective, we was in midseason form. Now we got to clean up the details of our work. We got to, great ball security. And it starts at the quarterback position, the running back, anybody that touches the football, the ball is the program. And I think, you have to start first and foremost with that. And then, from there, give yourself a chance by how hard you play and how physical you play.
We saw freshmen on the field, 7 total, 5 true freshmen getting starts. How did you feel about your youth and them finally getting game experience?
Yeah, I think, they showed the thing they continue to show all camp. I didn't go into the game afraid for them playing. Obviously they learned about themselves. Devin Lafayette is a great example. He missed a tackle the first play of the game and then came back later in the game and made a harder tackle on number 26. So, those young guys are exactly who we thought they were, probably a little bit better. And the moment wasn't too big. And what you see is we've had some physical practices this week. We've continued to stay in that training camp mode because with a young football team, we want to continue to put them in stress at practice so the game becomes easier. And we've did a lot of good work this week, and I like the way those guys have responded.
Going from the youth to people that have been here, Tyrese Ritchie, fantastic game, made some huge catches, had a career night. What did you see from Tyrese that you can use moving forward?
Yeah, I think, number one, you see a guy that made plays run after the catch, which he's dynamic once the ball is in his hands. So I thought he made contested catches. There was one play in particular, I thought to myself, that's a pick. And he went up and fought for the ball. So, that confidence that he gives to the quarterback to say he's going to be in the spots that I need you to be in, and he's going to make the catches. And then after he makes the catch, he can gain positive yardage. And I think that's a big thing for an offense. Yak yards, yards after contact, yards after catch are important if you want to have a dynamic offense.
Yeah, so Coach, just looking at this Buffalo as we kind of wind it down here, turn the page. Did they do anything differently than what you game plan and schemed against?
Obviously they had the 2 quarterbacks going into the situation. I did think number 7 was the better passer of the 2. So we were kind of anticipating that he was going to play. I thought they would try to get number 5 more involved, the other running back, but obviously they went with number 26. So they did kind of the things that we thought. Obviously they changed up the coverages on their defense a little bit, and obviously the defensive ends are 2 good players. But we felt good about the game plan going into it. We have to be a cleaner operation ourselves. It's about us.
NIU Weekly, Andy Garcia alongside Sean T. Frazier and the Huskies head football coach Thomas Hammock as we get ready for NIU taking on the Chippewas of Central Michigan now on Wednesday night. And Coach, we talked about the Chips coming off a win as they beat Ohio. What have you seen from them on tape so far as they won a couple of awards this week too?
Yeah, it's a good football team. I think Coach McElwain does a great job, building around his personnel. Obviously, they got a redshirt freshman quarterback playing, and they made the offense. They're a lot different than last year. And, they got some players. Number 4, the running back is a good player. Number 88, the wide receiver is a good player. The quarterback is playing efficient football for him. But if you look at the Ohio game, that game came down to turnovers as well. Ohio turned it over 3 times, and Central Michigan didn't turn it over. So ball security is obviously a big piece to the puzzle. And then defensively, they got some defensive ends that can get to the quarterback if you hold the ball. They have some linebackers that can get downhill and make plays. And they're extremely big and physical on the back end of their defense. So our wide receivers are going to have to make sure their technique is great so they can get open.
Yeah, that's a great segue. They're big. You just said that. Looking at our size, look at what we bring to the table. Maybe some keys so we can win this thing.
Yeah, I think the big thing for us, number 1, is ball security. Number 2, we got to control the line of scrimmage. And number 3, we have to be dominant on special teams. I thought our special teams units played pretty well. Makes a difference when you have a returner. Trayvon did a great job. I thought the guys did a great job blocking for him. But that allows us to play field position. We want to play complementary football, and I think that's the big thing for us right now as we continue to grow as a football team to make sure we give each side of the ball in each phase a good opportunity to be successful.
One final question for you, Coach, is, you hear a lot about it. You get, the transition from game 1 to game 2 is always the most improvement. Does that hold true for your team this week?
Well, we certainly got after it in practice. With a short game season, you're not worried about the wear and tear of the season. We tackled in practice. We want to continue to make that a point of emphasis. We was extremely physical on both sides, and that's what we're going to do the next 5 weeks. We have to build these young men up and get them callous to what college football is all about. And the way we're going to do that is to be extremely physical, extremely tough, and get them to play hard. And that's the thing that they're going to understand. The harder you play, the more great things can happen. And that's going to be our brand of football.
Coach, I appreciate the time, and good luck on Wednesday night taking on Central Michigan.
Appreciate it.
That's it, Coach Thomas Hammock. As we go from football, Sean, to women's basketball, and we're only 2 weeks away, Sean, from women's and men's basketball, and the women's head coach, Lisa Carlsen, joins me, and Sean, and we're looking forward to it. 2 weeks, Coach. It's not that far away. I know you guys have been practicing and trying to get it down. I'm looking forward to doing the games again this year on the radio and the TV, but just kind of talk about it from a 30,000-foot view of just how you and the team are doing right now.
Well, I'll tell you what, Andy, we're doing great. Every day on the court has been a blessing. The kids are extremely excited for the opportunity that they get, and they've been working hard. So we're looking forward to continuing to progress day to day and see what happens and control the things that we can control.
Sean?
Yeah, Coach, you know what? A lot of highs and lows, right? You've been battling adversity. What's the overall mindset right now? I know the kids are fired up, but the mindset of you, your staff, your student athletes, give us a little bit of behind the scenes view.
Yeah, I think the mindset is great. I think, I think this roster is in a really good place right now with the understanding of how precious the game is and how volatile the situation is. And so I think it's really provided them with kind of a sense of urgency on a day-to-day basis to make sure they get the most out of every opportunity that presents itself. And I think anytime you can approach the game like that, whether it's practice, preparing for the first game, or you're in the middle of the season, or you're preparing for postseason, I think anytime a team will approach it like that, I think good things can happen.
As we talk more about the roster, we got to talk about the sophomores with Asia Davis, Shelby Coker, and Grace Hunter. They got so much playing time last year. It's only going to help them so much now in their second season.
Yeah, I think those 3 players that you mentioned are really going to be the backbone of what we do and what we see for the next few years. All of them individually have really grown in this offseason with the understanding that the expectation is much different for what we need them to do. And they've all really embraced that. They've put in the time, both physically, mentally, and then, like you mentioned, the amount of time that they had on the floor last year helped them so much from a developmental standpoint, understanding the game, because their roles will be much different this year with the roster turnover that we had with the seniors graduating. So they've prepared themselves for what that looks like, and I'm really excited for this group. Again, not just in 2 weeks, but this year and then in the next few years to come.
With the newcomers and having the switch with all the seniors you lost, I know you want to go up and down. You want to score points. Have you had to change that in any way?
No, in fact, I think we'll get even more back to that. When you watch Shelby play especially, nobody loves to push the ball more than she does. And again, with the ball in her hands, you just have to have people who are going to keep up with her. Grace loves to run the floor. And then the return of a couple of really key pieces for us, I think, in Erin Hodges and Janae Poison. I mean, we haven't seen them lately in a Husky uniform, but I tell you what, they make such a huge difference in our roster. So if we can keep those 2 individuals healthy and on the path to getting back to what we've seen before, in addition to the people that we've already mentioned, I think the makeup of this team is really exciting.
John?
Yeah. You just threw some names at me. I'm just I'm salivating because you're right. I want to see them back in the uniform as well. I know you do too, Coach. So from a personnel standpoint, you talked about the change, right? Does it change in the sense of a defensive or offensive? Give us behind the scenes. I don't want to feed you too much. Talk a little bit about how that's going to play out when we see Husky basketball.
Well, I don't think it necessarily changes what we want to do. Like I said, we're always going to try and score fast and score often. And this roster really is built for that. And this is the first time, to be honest with you, at this point, that I feel like we are really healthy. And that's kind of interesting to say with everything going on. But, you know, we have kids that have come back from injury and are in a really good spot. And we have key contributors that have remained healthy. And so when we go to practice now and we have a full roster of 14 bodies to really challenge each other, it's a great position to be in. I would love to think that I will continue to have a lot of decisions to make when it comes to the rotation on game day, if in fact we can stay as healthy as we are right now, because you know, we haven't been lucky enough, to be honest, in the last few years to have that present itself. So that's really what excites me the most, is we have a lot of different pieces that can do a lot of different things.
Have you seen someone or maybe a couple players step up to want to be the leader of this squad?
You know what? I'm gonna make a pretty bold statement right now, and I'm gonna tell you that Shelby Coker is not only gonna lead us, but she's gonna be one of the best guards in the MAC. I think statistically.
I'll write that down. Put that down, Sean. Write that down.
I got that.
You know, she's just one of those. You know, in the recruiting process, and also when you watch a kid work, you know, some kids just have it. And anybody who's coached knows what that is. There can be a lot of players out there that are talented, that'll do what you ask. But there's a certain percentage, and it's a very small percentage, that have it on game day, that are going to go above and beyond and put in work unlike anybody else on your roster. And again, that's Shelby for us. A lot of people maybe didn't see exactly what that looked like last year, but you definitely saw glimpses of it. And she understands, again, the different role that she's going to have this year. And she's ready for that. She relishes the challenge, and she's definitely put herself in position to lead us in every facet of the game.
You have the chance to see Shelby play last year. I mean, you're right there. She had to go through the ups and downs, and if she's the leader on this squad, then I feel pretty good about where this team could go. Now with 25 games this year, 20 in the MAC, which is up from what we had last year. You get to go to Michigan State, Bradley. We got the Compass Challenge coming up at Eastern Illinois. Start at Bradley on the 25th at home at the Combo. How do you see your non-conference setting up as you get ready for the MAC?
Well, I think this year is no different from a preparation standpoint. I think we have some great teams on our non-conference schedule that are going to prepare us for league play. Some great regional teams that have had a lot of success in the last couple of years. Like you mentioned, Bradley's coming off a great year. Illinois State's coming off a great year. You know, and then we get the opportunity to play a team the caliber of Michigan State, which again is a whole different dynamic in preparation, but one that we're really excited about. The Compass Challenge offers a great piece to basketball, not just in the region, but in the state. And I think the fans really look forward to that little tournament because it means a lot and has grown in popularity in the last couple of years.
I'll give one more, Coach, as we wrap up with you. Not playing in front of any fans. You practice all day in front of no fans, but to play basketball in front of no fans, I don't know if there's any band or any cheerleaders. That'll come soon enough. But how has it been, or how do you think it will be when teams are out there and you're just playing in front of nobody?
You know, I think, and this is probably true of all basketball players around the country, everybody's just chomping at the bit to get back on the floor and put a uniform back on. As much as we would absolutely love our fans to be there in person, I think when it comes to the players, while they'll look forward to that too sometime, just the opportunity to put a uniform on and play against somebody else, that's going to be a great day. And so, you know, obviously people will be able to continue to follow us, although it's not in person, and sometime they will be back in the Convocation Center. But until that happens, we'll compete just as we would if there was 5,000 people in there.
Well, I can tell you, being at the football game last Wednesday, and Sean can too, just the vibe of being back in a stadium and playing a real game instead of not playing yourself, Coach, is huge. And looking forward to it on Wednesday, November 25th, NIU hosting Illinois State at the Convocation Center 2 weeks away. I can't wait to come by and, again, be able to broadcast and be part of the team. Can't wait. Looking forward to it.
Thanks. We appreciate everything you do.
All right. That is head coach Lisa Carlsen, women's basketball. So wrap things up, Sean. That was cool because you got the football vibe from Thomas Hammock, and we got what's going on there. But also, it kind of leads us right into basketball. And we mentioned the cutouts. You know, that campaign is still underway, not just for football. You've got 2 more games, including the Wednesday game versus Central Michigan, but they're also doing it in the Convocation Center, and you can get the cutout, NIUHuskies.com. Just another way of just kind of just supporting NIU athletics right now, Sean.
Yeah, there's no question about it. You know, our players, our team, our staff, our coaches. They deserve that level of support. We want the fans to be there. Obviously, COVID-19 has spoken. Our Department of Health has spoken. We have to make sure we keep people safe and healthy. So this is alternative. It's a fun alternative. To be able to give back and to support. We really appreciate that. I know our team appreciates that. So this is just another way for that. We will not be able to have fans. We'll have very limited personnel in the facility. It's much different than being in an outdoor venue than, as you can imagine, in an indoor venue like the Convocation Center. So it's going to be highly, even more restricted during this time period during COVID.
Looking forward to it, though. Great to have football back, college basketball right on the verge of coming back, Sean. It just feels good to have sports back, plain and simple, no matter what team you root for.
No question about it. It's time, but we still, too, have to make sure that we observe the health and safety restrictions. And I do know folks are a bit fed up, and I understand that. I'm definitely in that camp, but not to the tune of sacrificing someone's life. So I think we just have to be mindful as we kind of proceed in this manner.
Special thanks to Huskies head football coach Thomas Hammock. Special thanks to Huskies head women's basketball coach Lisa Carlsen for joining us. Hopefully by the time next week we chat on this YouTube channel right here for NIU Weekly, Husky football is 1-1. And good luck on Wednesday night taking on Central Michigan. Sean, I'll see you on the sidelines.
Thanks a lot, Andy. Appreciate that.
For Sean T. Frazier, I'm Andy Garcia saying thank you for watching NIU Weekly. We'll talk to you next week. Go Huskies.